I know everything.
Webb, we're gonna have Webb out here on the show shortly. Look, Kenny had to win that. Kenny had to win that one.
Yeah, and he didn't.
Thank you. Breaking news. Amazing, right? Amazing. Technical track. Kenny's a technical rider. He's out front. It's all there for him, and Webb tracks him down. Amazing. Amazing for Webb, or not so amazing for Roczen. I can't decide. Maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah. You know what's crazy to me is I knew what gate Kenny was in when I was sitting there watching the race. I was like, oh, Kenny took the gate that was, for some reason the rut was super wide.
Okay.
And it was smooth as glass. I think it was Hartraft took it in the LCQ, and the rut next to it was terrible.
Right. Well,
super squirrely.
Actually, I have a question for Webb about that.
And you could kind of see it on TV, but it was bad.
How does a dude? Well, I was going to say, how does a dude who gets 7th in a heat start next to the guy that wins?
Because the rut was so terrible.
Right. Exactly.
And I was like, man, if he can hole shot out of that rut, it's going to be mind-blowing. And he didn't. He actually got a really terrible jump, but he just sucked in right behind Kenny, and then he hit the brakes early and went right around the backside of the berm and came out like 3rd.
Yep.
And it was so cool to just see, like, he thought that through. So he's like, I know Kenny's going to get a good start because that rut's sick.
Yep.
So I'm just going to follow him.
Right.
And, man, it's cool to see. He thinks things through, like, 4 or 5 steps ahead. And
he was struggling in the heat, couldn't get the whoops. Sexton put him down. Dallas too. He eats shit in the whoops in practice.
Yeah.
And like,
I have a funny story about that actually.
Okay.
So the lap right before he started a fast lap like right behind me. And we get just after the whoops, and I was so bad in the whoops there in practice, and he gets right on me.
Yeah.
And I'm on a fast lap, and I'm like, you shouldn't have started right behind me. Like, I'm not going to let you by.
Right.
And he was revving his bike at me, and people kept asking me later in the day, like, could you hear Webb? I'm like, yeah, I could hear him.
Yeah.
And he's revving his bike. Well,
why don't you tell him tonight that you were on your fast lap?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
And I finished the lap, and he quit because obviously I was going too slow for him.
Yep.
And I cross the finish line, go down the start straight, and I look back, and he's coming, move over, go to the inside, roll around the whoops. That's the lap that he just cartwheels his brains out the whoop. And I'm like, well, I wonder how much of a factor I played in that. So, I got Tomac and I got a front row seat to that cartwheel.
Right. If you're Webb, you're just so stoked on that win. You caught the guy. It's only 3 points. It's just the message.
Yeah.
And Kenny could have dirtied him a couple times.
He could have. Why not?
I'm not saying you got to T-bone him and knock him down, but can you get in there?
Bump him.
Like,
A-Ray and I battle harder for $1,000.
I know it's not in Kenny's nature. I get it. He's a clean guy. He doesn't want to do that. But come on. After what he did to you at Daytona, after the thing that you said on the podium at Daytona, you have this chance. He catches you. You can't. Cade.
I know, man. I hear you.
And I love Kenny. Kenny's a great dude.
I like
but
Kenny too.
Dude, you got to do that.
Kenny was my pick to win. I'd like to see Kenny win. Yeah, we talked about this earlier, and I don't have anything against Coop. It's just like, I think it would be badass for Kenny to win and come back from all that, and then next year have all those champions.
Why doesn't Kenny do something?
Dude, just make and like you said, you don't have to be blatant and T-bone him or.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
I don't want to see that.
But I want to see some orange plastic on some red plastic.
Right. Look, if you're gonna go down with a bit of a fight and take Coop out there. You had 2 chances.
Yep, I agree. Even like down the straightaway, like he like moved him over and then just like he's like, I don't want anything to do with you, and ran away.
Yeah,
which isn't bad, but at the same time, it's like, man, if you slow him down a little bit and hold him up to Tomac, then Tomac becomes in, and you're the fast one out front. You can kind of run away while those two screw with each other. But
I mean,
bunch it.
Bunch it. I just if you're Honda, you're bummed. You're just like, man, we had it, man. Like, again, nobody's saying you got to do stupid stuff out there, but he could have been greasier.
Do you think it's a fitness thing, or do you think it's a mental thing that Coop's behind him? Like,
dude, I don't know.
I don't know either, man.
I mean, he is a world champion. He is a motocross champion. You know what I mean? He's everything. He's won everything. And he's the he won like Destinations motos 3 or 4 years in a row against best route. Like, he's a bad dude. Mm-hmm. I just can't see him being mentally mind-fucked by Cooper Webb, but maybe he is.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You know what I mean? I just can't see a champion, a race winner, a guy that's been through everything he's been through, start thinking about this small guy, number 2 on the behind. Like, you know what I mean? That seems mentally impossible that would work. That would psych him out.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I'm not sure. JT, would have liked to seen Roczen get a little aggressive with Coop. Not really sure why he didn't.
Well, I agree with the McGrath pick that you were swooning over at Arlington too. Until Kenny forces Cooper to respect him or have any glimpse of fear whatsoever, why would he? Why would you ever check up or ever have any hesitation until you're forced to? He really has no reason to. Kenny has been so nice and so patient with any sort of aggression from Cooper. And I don't know, at some point you just have to draw a line in the sand. And in the words of Jeffrey the Dude Lebowski, you just have to say this aggression will not stand. And you have to stand your ground and make a move back to where if you have the inside, Webb's not going to just commit to the outside. Where right now I believe he will. I believe he will commit to the outside and just say, you know what, Kenny's not going to knock me down here, so I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
And until you put some sort of fear there where he has to think a little bit about, I don't know, if this is Jason Anderson, I can't go outside because I'm going to end up on the ground, And there's something to be said for that. Kenny just has to force the issue a little bit. And I know Kenny he just wants to be courteous, and that's the way he's always raced. But when you have a guy like Cooper Webb who's willing to take advantage of that scenario, you almost can't be. Like, you're going to have to up the aggression level and fight back a little bit.
It's amazing you didn't. Absolutely. And now this thing feels – I'll start with you, Cade. I mean, look, anything can happen, a bike problem or a big crash from Cooper. But, dude, this thing feels –
I mean, it's not out of there,
but
it's definitely getting there. It's getting stressful. I think everyone knows if Kenny hole shots, Coop's coming.
Yeah.
And he's going to keep coming the whole race. He's not going to get tired. He's just going to keep plugging away. He doesn't make any mistakes, really, and it's crazy.
Dallas, too, he crashes, probably has a concussion of some sort, comes back, sets a top 3 time in the next practice. This one gets knocked down in the heat by Sexton, can't do the whoops, struggling, comes back and wins. Like the guy, and he's coming on later tonight.
He's an animal, man.
Yeah.
And it's just nothing seems to phase him. And like when there's adversity, I feel like it just fuels the fire.
Right. I might agree with that for sure.
Well, and it the thing about this for me is it gets tougher. I believe towards the end of the season, I think it gets tougher to make up points. So if you're Kenny, the job is going to get more difficult as we go towards Salt Lake because these guys are going to lose interest. The days of everybody just sending it, trying to get a result, and if Cooper gets a bad start, these guys are going to start like, it's the end of the year, and they just start losing their intensity a little bit where everything's going to be on the line for Cooper, and he's going to find his way to the front anyway. It just seems to work out that way towards the end of the year. It's so difficult to make up big points gaps because of the waning interest of these guys.
I mean, I'm almost wondering if we're seeing it now with these top 4 guys checking out the last 2 weeks.
Sure. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It definitely it goes that way, right? It's a stair step that direction, and it's hard to say when you see it. I think everybody notices that at different times, but it steadily progresses as the season wears on.
Right. JT, most improved. Let me pick your brain a little bit on this stuff. So Coop takes Kenny wide at Daytona, causes, a social media meltdown, which had to make you laugh, by the way.
Yeah.
And then Kenny has those words on the podium about, like, I can play this game too, and no problem,
Right.
And then this week in Dallas 3, Wardy, he's got a chance to, and I don't mean, like Cade and I were talking earlier, like, don't T-bone the guy, don't knock him, don't take yourself down, all this kind of bullshit. But send a message.
Yeah.
And nothing.
Yeah,
we got nothing.
I don't know what he's afraid of because even like when Webb passed him, he went high and stayed high.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to know. And Webb's notorious for diving under low and making a tight cut. And so he's going there, and he still went high, and he was almost afraid he was going to get hit. He kind of and Cooper didn't even hit him.
No.
It wasn't like Cooper passed cleanly. So, it's just not Kenny. I mean, I wasn't the guy that went out there but you have to be a little more aggressive, I think, and it's hard to say, but I would have definitely
Right.
He's behind in points. So what do you got to lose if you slam the, even if you're leading, he's coming, close the door, and if he hits you and you both go down, maybe you get up first and his bike breaks or something. But he doesn't even take that risk of wanting to get hit. He goes high and lets them turn underneath and pass them, and I don't know.
Well, especially those after that speech on Daytona where he's like, "Hey, I can play this game too. I'm ready." And you're like, "Okay, great." Like Coop took you wide, probably cost you maybe a race win, but podium for sure. So that was all fair, and nothing wrong with Coop's move.
Yeah.
But now's your time, Kenny, and there was nothing. And I was surprised.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like that's been his MO for the last few years, always, even with, Tomac, and that's just the way he is. And maybe when he's out there, I don't know, maybe nobody knows. Maybe he is tired. Maybe his wrists aren't as strong or his arms aren't as strong as they should be, and he can't afford that confrontation or that impact. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He doesn't say why, so
you're
just assuming he's just not being aggressive.
But in your position, you're sending a message, I think, back in your day. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't going to get hit and then not hit somebody the next week if I had the opportunity.
Right.
There's no reason why, if you didn't, then all of a sudden you're just going to get pushed over, if you don't push the issue. You'll know every time you stick something in there, you're going to let him have it, or if he does something to you, the guy's thinking, well, he's not going to get back to me anyway, so what's it matter? But,
I'm not saying you need to be Rollerball or Jimmy or Hollywood out there, but can we be aggressive?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say what he's thinking, but if you're definitely going to say you're going to do it, and you have opportunities and you don't, then don't say it. I liked your interview the other night with the Cobra there.
Oh yeah,
yeah, DV. I thought he was pretty good actually, and I agreed about almost 100% of everything he said. I was like, that guy's spot on.
Yeah. That's the Cobra for you. That's what he does. It's great.
Yeah, but I think he was exactly right on all accounts and all that. And I liked him, talking with RC about being the GOAT and all that. I thought it was pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Another theory I want to run by you.